Yo, what's up, man? Welcome back, man. Welcome back to Checkdown, where we check down on the best available waiver wires of the current week, man. And this week, dog, man, it's been a catastrophe on everybody's lineup, right? But before we get into it, we gotta pay some bills, man. Shout out to our sponsors. You know what I'm saying? Football is money. Let's get it. Football is money. Whether you're a diehard fan, fantasy manager, or just in it for the drama, we're here every week to bring you the action and analysis you crave. Plus, don't miss a beat. Follow Football is Money on all social platforms for extra updates and live game insights. Join the team, subscribe today, and let's make every game count on Football is Money. That's right, man. Footballismoney.com. You know what I mean? Footballismoney.com is a very, very special partner of mine. If you need parlay help, if you need fantasy lineup help, you want to know the updates to news, how you strategize to get the best payouts on draft picks or whatever, DraftKings, whatever you like to gamble on, go to footballismoney.com. They got the scoop for you, man. Every day it's an episode that you guys can tune in, listen to, and really maneuver and set your lineup accordingly, man. That's right, footballismoney.com. Now, on to the show, you know what I mean? So, man, it's been a crazy week, right? Let me scroll down here. It's been a crazy week. I mean, people say it's the turf. Some people say it's, the grueling exercises that players do during their workouts, pre-workouts. I say it's just, a little stench of bad luck, unfortunately. And a lot of people's lineups are affected by this bad luck, unfortunately. And it's terrible to see. It's god awful to witness and experience your team suffering and struggling to maintain its integrity throughout the season. But this is what we have resulted to. Fantasy football, you have to be prepared for these type of things. And I told you guys to be prepared. But some of these people you were prepared for failed miserably. But let's go forward with this, all right? We're going to highlight our first individual, right? This guy, man, he started off the season real slow, right? Real slow. Tyreek Hill. But he started to gain momentum when it mattered most. And that game, you can see my man was headed to I think that was going to be like a 30-point game. I'm not even going to lie to you if he wouldn't have got hurt. But unfortunately, he got hurt, and Tyreek Hill is out indefinitely. He's no chance he's coming back. His knee twisted in an awkward position and actually popped out of the socket, tearing multiple ligaments. And if you have Tyreek on your team, man, there's a couple of players you can pick up, and I'm gonna go over that later in the show. But for right now, you gotta live with the hurt of Tyreek Hill, right, being injured, and the fact you gotta replace him, and you gotta replace him immediately, because if you don't, your season is on the line. A lot of teams are 1-3, right, or 0-4. Not me. Luckily, I got one win at least, and I got another two teams with a 2-2 record and one with a 3-1 record. I just lost this week, but it happens when Ashton Genty is in the background, and he busts out running. What you expect, dog? You know what I'm saying? And I told you guys this was rookie week, right? I was right. If you watch the following episode, week 4's episode, you will see that my predictions were right about all of the rookies. It's a month. It takes a month for you to get acclimated, right? It's time to shine. So all these rookies are going to continue to shine. But shout out to Tyreek Hill and his kneecap. Hopefully the doctors get in there and sew his kneecap back together and he can run again. And then next, we're going to move over to another prolific wide receiver that we hate and we're going to miss, man. Malik Neighbors, dog. Another wide receiver that I had high hopes for, right? Because Jackson Dart is now under helm. and you got Scatterboo. They had a nice balanced offense, but now, it's like people got to step up. And who is that people that we think is going to step up? Who knows? The Giants are volatile. There's no telling who's going to be that receiver. But Malik Neighbors, he went up for a catch, and they were driving down the field. Went up for that catch, and apparently when that initial burst, something happened with his knee, popped it. He's out for the season, guys. You won't see him till next year. But fortunately, if you have a keeper league and you have Malik Neighbors, there's hope for next year. But for now, no Malik. But we're going to go over the players that you guys probably should pick up, instead of Malik Neighbors later on in the show, of course. So another guy that's injured, man, and I don't know how I feel about this guy. This guy is very important to his team. This guy is a superstar MVP runner-up of last year. Double winning MVP winner Lamar Jackson is out with a hamstring injury. But, there's word that your boy might be coming back and trying to play this week 5. Is that a good idea? If he has an injury, I wouldn't think so. I think Cooper Rush would be a good replacement for now. It's not like their season. I mean, their season is on the line, but I think the panic is kind of like premature, if you will. But if he feels like he can go ahead. And if he goes, the conclusion is that he was terrified of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's why he faked his injury. That's what I mean. It looked like he gave up, bro. It looked like he just said, I'm done. I can't do anything to help my team, so why should I even try? He's over there slamming helmets. If you can play this week, if you went from there's no chance you can play to now you're playing this week, come on, bro. That's like somebody getting beat up and not wanting to go to school. And then after they get beat up and they get transferred to another school, now they ready to enter the school again. No, bro, that's not cool. It's not fair. It's not a good thing, man. You want to stay consistent. But Lamar Jackson, there's no telling if he's going to play. But there are plans you can put, into play. If you watched my episode last week, there's quarterbacks you need to pick up, and you need to do it now, because a lot of quarterbacks are getting hurt or replaced or whatever, and you need to be ahead of the curve so you can make sure you're there to make the correct plays for your team. I'm just saying. That's just me. And a late injury report. I was going to make this video yesterday, but a lot of things were happening after practices yesterday, and I like to do it right after the Wednesday practice, but for now on, check on the Checkdown Thursday afternoons around 2 p.m. That's when I'm going to be airing, and that's where you can catch me, because these things change like lightning, because my boy Trey Benson, dog, is out for about 4 to 6 weeks. He's on the IR. And I told you guys 3 weeks ago to get him just in case James Conner got hurt. And then you had him, and you guys were like, yeah, I got him. I got him on my lineup. I was like, yes, I got him. It's time. It's time for him to shine. But his time to shine is going to be like 4 to 6 weeks. They got DeMarcado or something. I don't believe in him, bro. Third string running backs, nah. I'm good, bro. I'm gonna stay away from, if you're that desperate right now in week 4 where you need a DeMarcado or something like that to save your fantasy team, God bless you, because it's over with. It's you don't know how to play, bro. It's over with. You need to tune in to Checkdown and learn how to play, and go over to footballismoney.com to learn how to play. These are the facts, you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all are lacking, man, and lacking in a terrible way. Terrible, terrible way. And it's cool, It happens, But let's progress the show, shall we? And we're gonna go ahead and go straight. We're gonna go straight to the player of the week. You know what I'm saying? Before we even get into, because I'm excited about this guy, man. So this is my player of the week. Let's get it. Oh, that was it right there, wasn't it? Hold on. So the player of the week or play of the week would have to be my boy Woody Marks, dog. Coming out of the Texans, Houston, Texas, with 35.90 rushing yards, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Coming straight from Houston, dog. I say Woody Marks for one reason, dog. It's the way he plays. Y'all see how he plays. He's an animal. He's an absolute animal. Like he's fast, he's crafty, he's nifty. He's what you want on your team right now. If you have a Nick Chubb or if you have Joe Mixon and you're trying to handcuff him, if you have this guy and Mixon, you're good. You're solid. They haven't officially said he's the runner, like the number one runner on the team, but as you can see with the carryings and the usage that this man is, man. He's the real deal, man. And it took him a while to get it going, but you saw as soon as he saw the holes opening up, he would hit those holes with the agility of a cheetah, bro. On some Tyreek Hill type ish, but not really not that fast. But you see what I'm saying? He know how to hit the gaps. You feel me? So I would say the pick of the week has to be Woody Marks. Go get him off your waiver wire. He's probably already gone by the time of this video, but if he's not, stop looking at him and staring at him and go cop him. And if you got him on your keeper league, you got lucky, man. That was a good stash, excellent stash. Moving on over, man. Let's keep on going, man. This guy this guy plays for a team that's, I feel like, is under the radar. Big time. Big time under the radar, and people really sleep on my guy. They sleep on my guy because he plays behind one of the most prolific running backs, I believe, in football. That's Blake Corum. Blake Corum, he's gonna creep up. If you watch the games, you see how Kyron Williams runs and how, he's like reckless. He runs with reckless abandon, like just in a group of heavy 300 pounders. He's not really, he has to break free. I feel like if he keeps getting tackled, he's going to eventually get injured. And when he gets injured, enter Blake Corum. Now, do you start him this week? No, you don't start him this week. You keep him in the bag. Just wait patiently and see what happens. But if you have no choice and there's people that are injured or people that you can't trust, Blake Corum, he's not a bad suggestion. But I wouldn't put him first and foremost above all the other players that we mentioned here today. But grab him on your team, put him in the stash bucket, and see what happens. Because Kyron Williams, I feel like the way he runs, it's a matter of time, right, before my man gets hurt. Now, like I was saying earlier about Tyreek Hill being injured, and there's not a player out there on their team besides Waddle. And if Waddle gets double team over the top, over the bottom, someone has to be open, and that person I feel that's going to be open, Darren Waller, because my boy was open like 7-Eleven last week, bro. When he was needed in the red zone, that's where you get your points, people. When he was needed in the red zone, he delivered. He delivered, bro, and he's a veteran. He knows routes. He knows what he's doing. He's a good off the block. Did he have a lot of opportunities? No, he didn't have a lot of opportunities because of Tyreek Hill, because of these other receivers. But because Tyreek Hill is out and other teams are going to scheme for the other wide receivers on the team, I feel like this guy is a good slot receiver. I don't want to call him a slot receiver because he's a tight end, but let's be real, man. Tight ends on the Miami Dolphins team, on the Miami Dolphins side of things, they like to use tight ends in a slot receiver type of role. So he's going to be available, bro. He's going to be he's going to be across the field right over the 5-yard line. That's 5 yards guaranteed. PPR, that's excellent. If his usage goes up, but they've been very careful with dude, so you got to be, mindful of that. Make sure you make these decisions based off of the setup of your team, not exactly of what I'm saying. I'm just being honest with you. Moving on, man. So we're going to go over for Pittsburgh, man. Holla at my boy Kenneth Gainwell. Now, Kenneth Gainwell is another one of those stash, man. The running back over there for the Pittsburgh is already getting hurt. He's already getting hurt. He's already feeling the pressure of being a lead back. And as you can see, Kenneth Gainwell took advantage of that, man. He went crazy, dude. He has 46 fantasy points right now. And most of his points came from the last game, man. He has a bye week. If Warren is healthy, he can come back. But I feel like my boy Kenneth Gainwell would be a solid play every week. As far as Warren's usage, I don't think they're going to drill him into the ground, especially if they have a running back like this. That's what I would do as a coach. That's what I would do if I was Coughlin, whatever his name is. If I was him, I would use him more to acclimate Warren. But we'll see what happens. I would cop, dude. Would I play him immediately? I don't know if he can repeat the same game, but it's all about matchups. Check your matchups, see what it is. I'm not here to check your matchups. I'm not here to help your matchups. I'm here for you to pick up the best available waiver wire pickup of the week. You heard? All right. Next going on, man. We're gonna go over to Houston, dude, and we're gonna see what's happening over there with one of the young rookies, Jaden Giggity. He's been emerging. Do I trust? Listen, man. I know what y'all saying. Y'all looking at Jaden Giggins. I put Christian Kirk on there last week thinking he was going to do something. Man, listen, man. The Texas offense is terrible right now. The O-line is god awful, right? The only hopes you got really is Marks. But if you got injuries, everybody copping people, you might have a league where you got a lot of bench stashes and people stashing people like it's running out of style. That could be you. So Jaden might be someone you might want to look at as far as giving you, production over time, man. Again, it's week 4. Put him on your bench. See what happens. Do I think anything is going to happen in Houston anytime soon to help out C.J. Stroud in that offense? No. But this is the best available waiver wire pickup on that side of the ball, man. I don't have much to say about Jaden. He hasn't proven himself yet, not exactly, but he's proven himself to be somewhat reliable, but we'll see what happens as the season progresses. The Ravens should steamroll these people, but you see how the Ravens have been playing. Their defense isn't good. A lot of defensive players are hurt. Humphrey comes back this week. We'll see what happens. Now, this is a very interesting story, right? We're going to go over to New Orleans, man. We're going to get straight to it because I feel like this is breaking news that most people don't understand or probably don't know. But if you've been paying attention, I feel like the Saints are playing for picks at this moment. And I think in order to get the picks that they really want to reconstruct their team, to put them in a battle for the front runner to be in the Super Bowl in the next 3 to 4 years, they got to move people. And I feel like the person they're going to move via trade is going to be Alvin Kamara. And that's going to happen very, very soon, I feel. If not soon this year, maybe next year sometimes. But word on the street is going to be before the year ends. But we'll see. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all need to check that waiver wire for my boy Kendre Miller, dog. Kendre Miller, he's been going up every single week in fantasy points. He has a total of 21 fantasy points at this point. They've removed him from the kickoff return, is what it seems, and now he plays strictly as the mix-up change of pace runner to Alvin Kamara, and it looks like a beautiful thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. And the Saints play the Giants, and I feel like it's gonna be a dogfight. Two quarterbacks that have something to prove. Both teams, I think they play with a flame. Their energy is always on 10, but not like Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart and Scatterboo, man, good luck. I feel like their energy alone, right? Like, dampers the teams they play, man. I really love those two guys, man. And if you have those two on your fantasy team, you might be primed for a great week because, like I said last week, get on the Jackson Dart train. I'm telling you, bro. He's gonna guarantee you points every week. But right now, in Saints territory, Kendre Miller is someone you need to look at, like on a serious note. At least stash him and wait to see what happens with Alvin Kamara, you know. And when you need him on a bye week or something, I feel like Kendre Miller is a great flex, bro. Plug him in, see what he does, you know. Speaking of New York, man, without Malik Neighbors, unfortunately, there's no wide receivers that you can really depend on. That's what people say. But right here on the check down, I got this skizoop for you, Zoop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a jump out on the edge, and I'm gonna say Darius Slayton. Everybody's saying Wendell Robinson, but I mean that's the obvious pickup, bro. And when it's the obvious to pick up, you know, in my experience with fantasy football, bro, it's never what it is, doc. Darius Slayton is the vet. Darius Slayton is the guy I feel like is gonna go off. I feel like if Robinson gets double teamed, hit hard or whatever, bro, the boy's skinny, man. He's small. Darius Slayton is a big wide receiver. You know, I feel like he's dependable on wide routes. Even if not, right? I would look, even if you don't depend on Darius Slayton, right? The game is gonna be won on the ground with Scatterboo and Jackson, bro. Darius Slayton is just a contingency plan, but that's only if they get down. They'll have to pass the ball. They're going against the Saints. Their defense is kind of even. I really feel like the New York Giants defense is better, right? Better than the New Orleans Saints defense. I think the New York Giants defense is underrated at this point, and people are going to realize how underrated they are as the season goes on because there's a lot of people on there, man. Heavy hitters, bro. You got to respect them. But Darius Slayton, dog, Mr. Dependable, if you ask me, you know, he started to come alive a little bit at the end of the game, but Jackson Dart, let's be real, he didn't really pass it that much, right? But if they get down, which they probably will, because you got Spencer Rattler on New Orleans, it's going to be a dogfight, I feel. It's going to be a back and forth game, maybe a lot of field goals or close calls, or it's going to be a lot of breakaway tackles for Jackson Dart and Scatterboo. But we'll have to see, man. But Darius Slayton, everyone's talking about Wendell Robinson, but I think people need to take a second look at Darius Slayton. If you're on the desperate side of things, don't start this guy this week and then come up with my comments telling me, why did you tell? If you need him, if you need him right now, you're screwed. Again, this is for people who are just screwed, bro. They like everything's screwed for them and they need somebody, like just somebody. It would be Darius Slayton. Otherwise, he would be trash. All right, let's keep on going here, man. We're gonna go over to Washington, dog, and people sleep on the youngster right here, Luke McCaffrey, dog. 26 fantasy points right now, bro. And Luke, he's gonna have an opportunity. You know, I feel after we see the reports this week that Terry McLaurin and or Deebo Samuels is out. One of those are going to be out, bro. I don't think both of them are going to be back. If one of them are out or both of them are out, your boy Luke McCaffrey is your man, bro. Because Jaden Daniels is back. And Jaden Daniels he looks for him sometimes, bro. Let's be honest, man. Last year, he was kind of feeding the youngster, you know what I'm saying? But this year, it's a Luke McCaffrey's time, bro, I feel. It's the perfect setup, the perfect storm. Two prolific wide receivers are injured. Step up, Luke. Let's make it happen, man. I feel like he's a sleeper for this week for that reason. He's a sleeper that you guys should take a serious look at, right? He's one of those people, again, like Darius Slayton, but more on the high ceiling type of things. Low floor for Darius Slayton, high ceiling for Luke McCaffrey if those two things were to happen. So, Luke McCaffrey, look for him on a waiver wire. Next up, man. Now, a lot of people are going to question me about this, right? And they're going, oh, why would you put him up there? Because he's a utility knife. He's like another Travis Hunter, but on the other side of things. He's like two offenses in one. He's like a double dual threat attacking mechanism. And word on the street that Taysom Hill has been working out with the quarterback coaches over there in New Orleans. And Taysom Hill, he's not a bad quarterback to have. I mean, he's Mr. Reliable, Mr. Dependable on tight end and on quarterback. I feel like on both sides of the ball, not both sides of the ball, but on both sides of the offense, both quarterback and tight end, he will deliver for you in every which way, shape, and form. Not only has he been working with the quarterback coaches, Spencer Rattler, if you guys have been noticing, hasn't been all that hot. He's been on and off. He's been kind of good, but not really good. He's not been good enough to be holding or driving a team to victory, and that's unfortunate for him. That's not my fault or your fault, guys. Don't be mad. He got to step up. But a lot of people will say, man, Taysom Hill, why would you have him on here? Because, bro, I feel like you guys got to think about things like this, bro, right? This guy, Taysom Hill, has been pretty reliable and has been like a utility knife throughout all of his season. He's hurt. He's coming off an injury, but guess what? He's going to come back off of the injury. And if you don't have a tight end, you have tight end issues and things of that nature, you can probably plug dude in as a tight end and get quarterback points. I'm going to say this one more time. You can possibly plug my guy in as a tight end and get quarterback points. Same thing about Isaiah Likely. He's another tight end, but he doesn't get you wide receiver points, but he's more like a wide receiver. You see what I'm saying? So take a look at Taysom Hill, man. I feel like right now would be the time to get dude because they trying to get him back because your boy Spencer is not getting it done, bro. And let's just be real. He's not getting it done. So, man, all right. Those were a lot of players, right? But a lot of players that you guys should really pay attention to, man. But, you know, I got to do my stash of the week, bro. And my stash of the week will have y'all thinking like, huh? But you got to be crafty, swift. Now, this week's stash of the week, the person you should put in your bag and just keep in your bag for a while. Now, I know, listen, it's time. Prime time. Shedeur Sanders, my boy. Shedeur Sanders, dog. It's time, bro. I don't believe in this. Like, what? I don't even know dude's name anymore, bro. Gabriel. I don't believe in Gabriel, bro. Who I believe in is Shedeur Sanders. I don't know what game they're playing over here. I don't know what games they got going on. I don't know what pipe, like, the general manager or coach is puffing on over there, bro. But, I mean, Dylan Gabriel is not the savior of the Browns. And what's stupid to me is that they're going to tank the season, it seems like, on Dylan Gabriel, then get rid of Sanders. And if you are going to get rid of Sanders, you need to do it swiftly because the Bengals need a quarterback. You know, Killer Cam was right. Y'all should look in over there, man. Like, shop around. Get you some picks for next year if you're going to go with Dylan Gabriel, bro. Because after this first game, people are going to realize he ain't ready, bro. Will he do all right? Maybe. But I think he's going to get slaughtered. And you know what happened and made Shedeur Sanders look bad? This is what karma does, right? Karma is a mother sucker, right? Shedeur Sanders' last pregame, right? Before, like, preseason game, they had him playing with the third string, going against first string defenses, not Gabriel. Now, Gabriel has a first team offense going against a first Hey, that's juicy. It's like people got to prove themselves this weekend, man. Dylan Gabriel got to prove himself this weekend, man. And these are facts, bro. He has to prove himself because Shadur Sanders is in the corner like, yeah, mess up. Do it. Do it. He ready too, bro. And that's all that matters, dog. Shadur Sanders is my stash of the week, bro. I know it sounds crazy, but put him in the stash bucket, bro, because I feel like he has an opportunity to go off. I think he has even if he doesn't go off now or he doesn't play now, you got to think about the long haul. If they start losing, right, the better half of the second half of the season, they're going to give my boys time to rock. Why not? That's what I think. Either way, he's going to have time to rock, and I feel like he's going to eat on that later stretch of the season, and he's going to put his name out there. It's perfect timing, bro. It's perfect timing, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, Shadur Sanders, man, pick him up, dog. A lot of good games. A lot of good games this weekend, man. But there's some games, you know what I'm saying, there's some games that, man, are going to be like fire, bro. But one of the best games of the week is what I want to go over right now with the game of the week. You know how we do. All right, so the game of the week, man. Game of the week. Very controversial, but I believe in it. I believe in this game of the week. You feel me? This game of the week has to be, I think, I predicted some high scoring games in the future, right? I predicted some games that I felt like was going to be like the one, yardage, usage, etc. But this game right here, I feel like it's the one. A divisional game, rivals. Let's get it, man. The Buffalo Bills versus the Patriots, dog. I mean, perfect storm for both teams. Both teams have been steamrolling, been doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? And now they're meeting up in their division to find out who's better at this point of the season. Drake May going off. Josh Allen going off. Ramondre Stevenson, I feel like it's going to go off this game. I feel like he's going to go off this game. I also feel like Henderson's going to go off this game. I feel like everybody that's a star on your lineup, everybody you drafted for in your lineup is going to go off in this game. James Cook, Kincaid, Stephon Diggs, everybody. Hunter Henry. Plug them in, start them. High flying game, high numbers game. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing game, high flying. You know, so if I had someone that I wanted to start on each one of these teams, we know the obvious, right? Drake May, Josh Allen. But we're going to go with the not so obvious. I'm going to go out on a limb. And Stephon Diggs been having a rocky start. But I feel like those revenge games, bro. Those revenge games are something else, dog. I would start Stephon Diggs on all sides. And I also would start a young receiver on the Bill side because I think Josh Allen and your boy Stephon Diggs are petty like that. I think Josh Allen will go for his main wide receivers and Keon Coleman a lot. And I think Drake May will go for Stephon Diggs a lot to show the dynamic, the why you should have left me on this team versus look at me now. It's going to be one or the other. It's going to be a look at me now or why did you leave me type of feeling. Either way it goes, it's going to be one of those games where people are going to be locked in. It's revenge. Whenever you want revenge, it makes people crazy. It makes them want to come after you, people. Trust me when I tell you. Have I been wrong so far? A little bit. I was wrong on one rookie last week, but what do you want me to do, bro? One rookie. But anyway, so that's my my team or my game of the week. The New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. Check it out because I am. Well, I guess that's all the time I have for today. I appreciate everybody that's been watching and been really tuning in. You know, it really gives me feedback to see you guys tuning in. I try to share and try to show my friends and family what I'm doing, and also the football world what I am doing, because I take a lot of pride in it. You know what I'm saying? I take pride in what I do. I take pride in my sponsorship. Football is money. And once again, thank you guys tuning in, man. So until next time on the Checkdown, man, are you down with the Checkdown? Check it out.